gin joints in all the towns in all the world.
Ah, New York, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, and other cliches that we just couldn't be bothered to look up online. For some, life in the city can be too much. The daily grind, overcrowded public transport, rush hour, pollution, an endless stream of pushing and shoving, noise, the list goes on and on. Sometimes we wish we could just end it all now. And no, we don't mean we want to top ourselves, we mean... You've probably already gathered from the intro that living in a city has made us a tad bitter and twisted. And after playing through EA's latest first-person shooter Crysis 2, we got a taste of what life would be like in a sprawling urban metropolis minus the millions of inhabitants. Take away the aliens trying to wipe out mankind and the constant threat of being squished under a crumbling skyscraper, and to us here at VGM, it's a damn sight better. So it got us thinking. If we wanted to raise a metropolis like New York to the ground, what would be the best way to do it? Well, we've trawled the annals of moviedom, and we think we found an answer. Welcome to Crysis 2, VGM's guide to completely obliterating New York City.
Look at these people. I grew up in this town. Any one of them down there could be my family.
First off the bat, infect the whole goddamn population, a la Terry Gilliam's 1995 time-travelling classic, 12 Monkeys. In the film, Bruce Willis plays James Cole, a man entrusted by some quite odd-looking future folk to discover who or what caused the virus outbreak that ultimately caused mankind's demise. Stepping out of the light and into New York, Cole finds a barren and bleak wasteland where wild animals now roam free. Crysis 2's New York is nowhere near that desolate, but the idea of some form of virus threatening the entire human population obviously plays very heavily in the story. New York has been put on a massive lockdown, and the once bustling community has been replaced by a depressing, spewing, spluttering excuse of mankind. It's a sad end to humandom, but on the bright side, it certainly makes that daily commute a lot less stressful. If a bit more corpsey.
And that completes my final report until we reach touchdown. We're now on full automatic in the hands of the computers.
Sticking with the future annihilation theme, we've got a film from the 1960s that shows us what would happen to New York if mankind's idle dabbling with all things nuclear ever actually did reach DEFCON 1, Planet of the Apes. Now, if you're one of the 2 people left in the world who doesn't know anything about this film, we're about to ruin it for you. But that serves you right for living in a cave. Everyone's favourite NRA poster boy Charlton Heston has crash-landed his spaceship on a mysterious planet where apes are the ruling species and mankind has become their unwitting slaves. Obviously Heston is having none of it, so he turns ape society on its head by, well, for being able to speak.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
They react in exactly the same way we would if a chimp walked up to us and asked for directions.
Taser him!
He eventually manages to flee from his simian captors so he can locate his downed spaceship and zip off home. Then this happens.
Oh my God. I'm back. I'm home.
That's right, Charlie Boy's going nowhere. He's already on Earth, only some numpty managed to send it to hell in a handbasket. Never mind, Charlton, at least the slave girls you're stuck with are pretty fit.
Hostile!
But why use nuclear weapons when you could use monsters? Big monsters. And New York has definitely seen its fair share. In 1998, Godzilla played havoc on the Brooklyn Bridge. But taking care of a mutated lizard is easy. Shoot it. With guns. Big guns. And if they're available, get the guy who played Leon and an older Ferris Bueller to help you out. Job done. But it's probably our favourite New York monster that's a little bit more difficult to deal with.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I mean, look at it. It's a giant marshmallow man, and it's still tearing the city apart. Just how are you supposed to deal with that?
We've been going about this all wrong. This Mr. Stay Puft is okay. He's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid, we won't have any trouble.
Close Venkman, but no cigar. Stay Puft causes all kinds of destruction before finally getting put to rest. Sometimes you've just got to cross the streams. Of course, while we're on the subject of monsters, we couldn't not mention Cloverfield. Like any decent tourist travelling to the Big Apple, the creature in this film takes in all the sights. Unfortunately for the millions of New Yorkers watching below, the monster also takes out most of the sights. From the decimated remains of the Statue of Liberty, the annihilation of the Brooklyn Bridge,
whatever it is, it's winning.
the military compounds that spring up all over the place, and the utter chaos that spreads throughout the city, it's fair to say that Cloverfield is arguably one of Crysis 2's biggest influences. In places, they've even got that shaky handheld camera feel down to a T. Sometimes the biggest monster New York has had to face has been planet Earth itself, and boy, is Mother Nature good at kicking NYC's arse up and down the East Coast.
When this storm is over, we'll be in a new ice age.
While The Day After Tomorrow is hardly going to win any Critics' Choice Awards for filmmaking, it's still pretty cool seeing the Ice Age tearing through the streets of downtown Manhattan, destroying everything in its path. However, they still managed to escape it by closing a door. That's right, the most destructive force of nature ever depicted on film, and all you have to do is make sure the doors and windows are closed. Well done, Hollywood. It's not just natural disasters on Earth that could help wipe out NYC either. Just take a look at what happens when the destruction goes cosmic. 1998's Deep Impact shows us what would happen if an asteroid ever was to hit New York. And it's fair to say that no amount of door slamming or window shutting would ever save you from this destructive force. Universe 1, Big Apple 0. But if you want the pure, unadulterated, best way to wipe out New York, then we reckon the way to go is alien invasion. Crysis 2's whole story revolves around it. Saucers flying overhead, giant spores smashing their way out of the ground, and Independence Day-esque aliens running amok all over the place. If aliens ever did land and started laying the smackdown on us, mankind would have two options. 1. Build a nanosuit capable of granting the user superhuman abilities and kick ET back to whatever godforsaken galaxy they came from. Or 2. Get Jeff Goldblum to show up with his MacBook and magic USB stick that just happens to be compatible with alien technology and get him to give them all a cold. Either way, when it comes to the apocalypse, you just can't beat alien invasions. So that concludes VGM's guide to completely obliterating New York City. And after that, we've decided that city living is just far too dangerous. So we're all going up the country to start a new life. Luckily, one of the VGM crew has some underground bunker plans that his granddad found during the Second World War. So we're going to find the biggest field we can and start digging. Until next time, VGM out.